This is an Out of Bounds Sports presentation.
What's up, everybody? This is the Big Dog, and thank you for joining us on the Out of Bounds Sports Show. We have a lot of news and sports and updates for you today, so we appreciate you coming through and joining the Big Dog J Horn tonight. First, let's remember to visit www.outofboundswithazsports.com for more information on how you can advertise during our show or for us to broadcast your live next sporting event on our network, the Out of Bounds Sports Network. So today we have some great topics we're going to talk about. Today we got the big dog draft picks that we're going to get to in a moment. We're going to talk about the NFL and some of the things that's going on with the draft. We're going to talk about the $30 million man, Rick Carlisle, for the Dallas Mavericks, and how he's kind of restraining them from, making the moves that they need to make because he's taking up a lot of salary cap. We're going to talk about the new NFL helmet rule, of course. It's always something going on with the NFL. And later on, we got some good stuff to talk about. You can see it on the lineup, but we'll be right back in a moment. You're on the Out of Bounds Sports Show. Thank you for joining. We'll talk to you in a moment. Welcome to the Boardroom Whiskey and Cigar Lounge. Conveniently located at 1708 8th Avenue, Fort Worth, Texas, 76110. They provide an upscale atmosphere for the grown and distinguished. Mention the Out of Bounds Sports Show for cigar and drink specials. Contact the Boardroom Whiskey and Cigar Lounge at 817-945-2975. All right, everybody, we're back. Thank you for joining Out of Bounds Sports Show. We live here in Dallas, Texas, in Out of Bounds Sports Studio. You on with the big dog, me, Jay Horn, and we're going to get to our first topic of the evening. The big dog draft picks is where we're going to have our section for the next few days before the draft. We're about 8 days away from the NFL draft. If you guys haven't been watching, some of the sporting areas or even watching the Out of Bounds Sports Show, I hope that you guys will tune in and so you can stay abreast of what's going on. So today we're going to talk about just one draft pick, and I usually pick some of the guys that I want to talk about that I feel like that should be drafted early, give a little insight on them, and remind us of how they played this year. The draft pick that I want to talk about, he's currently around 4th or 5th in Mel Kiper's review of the draft board, or the mock draft as they call it, is Baker Mayfield. Now, before I give you some stats on this young man, Baker Mayfield is an exceptional player. A lot of people look at him just because he's 6'1", and some people look at him not as the physical stature as the usual quarterback, but all you can do is say that guy get it done. He gets it done on the offense, and he carried his team to the national championship game, and unfortunately he had to play against the powerhouse Alabama. But, he played really, really well in that game, and it had to be a last-second play or something late in the game to take away, his championship pedigree, but that's all right. That's all right. Baker Mayfield, I feel like that he should go a little higher in this draft, mainly because you have to have toughness and grittiness to be an NFL star, and he has all of those tangible talents. So let's get to some of his stats. In his senior year, he threw for 4,627 yards. Those are NFL numbers. He did it in college. He averaged 11 yards a game, and he was 70% from the field, right? He threw 43 touchdowns and only 6 interceptions. Now, that's an exceptional stat line, if I don't say so myself. I really think that Baker Mayfield is going to be a great NFL player. Good luck to you, Baker Mayfield, in the draft in a few days. We love to have you here on the show. If you get a chance, come holler at the dog. And we're going to do what we do on Out of Bounds Sports Show. We'll be back in a moment. We're going to talk about Saquon Barkley, who I think should be the number 1 draft pick here on Out of Bounds Sports Show with the Big Dog. Welcome, everybody. This is the Big Dog on the Out of Bounds Sports Show. We're excited to bring you sports news and live broadcasting to your sporting event or your home with an exclusive interview with the Out of Bounds Sports team and me, the Big Dog. Tune in to the show Monday, Wednesday, Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll see you then. Don't run out of time. Get out of bounds.
Thank you for watching Out of Bounds Sports.
The most complete and unique style of training for athletes ages 7 to professional. If we're not training you, we could be training your opponent. Get at us to get more info. Put in work.
All right, everybody, we're back. Thank you for joining Out of Bounds Sports Show. It's me, the Big Dog, and you on. We're talking about sports, and our next subject for the day, our next topic for the day is Saquon Barkley. Now, I watched this young man all year as a Penn State All-Star, and when I tell you that I believe Saquon Barkley is the number 1 pick in this draft as far as overall achievements, this year in 2017-2018 season. If you looked at some of his highlights, obviously this young man, I really have to say that Saquon Barkley, he really impressed me to the point that I feel like that he could be the best running back of all times with his skill set, his footwork, the way he moves to the side, the way he can stop and start on the dime. He can catch the ball out the backfield. He can, go long. He can run routes, and he's a power running back. There's not too many running backs that you can think about in the last 10 years that compared to this young man. You could think of the likes of like Adrian Peterson, running backs like Ezekiel Elliott. This guy is on that level of pedigree, and I think that he could be much better because he has the speed and the power of Adrian Peterson, but then he has the agility and the smartness of an Ezekiel Elliott in a great stature. So good luck to that young man, Saquon. I feel like you need to be the number 1 draft pick, so let's see where you're going to go. I don't think too many teams are going to pass on you. They would be stupid to do that. The Penn State star, Saquon Barkley, is the top of the line running back. Now, as a Dallas native, I'm always concerned about my Dallas Mavericks and my Dallas Cowboys. The concern about my Dallas Mavericks has been the dismal season that we just finished and the connotation from our owner that it may be some tanking going on, or this may be the best thing for our actual team this year. And I get it. Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban is a great guy. He's a great owner. He understands basketball. He understands business. And people try to compare, tanking to what the Philadelphia 76ers did in building their young team, and they're doing well in the playoffs. Well, I just feel like that if there are rules that you can follow, and you're following those rules, and you're doing it the right way, then you should be able to do whatever you're going to do. Seriously. But tanking has nothing to do with salary caps. And the Dallas Mavericks are suffering right now from not enough cap space to bring some guys in to help the team win. Okay? Rick Carlisle is a part of that team. He's a part of the salary cap. And at this point, he's kind of, holding back the Mavericks a little bit like Dez Bryant was. That's why they had to release Dez Bryant. $30 million of the salary cap is being taken up in coaches' fees. So what do? The Mavericks haven't won in a long time. They're basically going to scrap the whole team if they can. They got a couple of good young guys. Dirk Nowitzki, their only superstar, all-star, is headed out the door. He gave them their championship in 2011, and now he's on the back end of his career. Dennis Smith Jr. is a guard, and he's taking him, but he's not a franchise player. So what do, Mark Cuban? Well, you got to scrap the squad, and you got to scrap the coach so you can bring in the guys that you need to bring in and get you some good draft picks, okay? Get you some good draft picks. Don't worry about them talking about you tanking. So, let's get it done. You heard it from the dog. Mark Cuban, if you need me to make a call, holler at me. You're on Out of Bounds Sports Show.
Shutterstock Music. Shutterstock Music. Shutterstock Music. Shutterstock Music. Shutterstock Music. Shutterstock Music.
This is an Out of Bounds Sports presentation.
All right, everybody, we back on Out of Bounds Sports Show. You right here with the dog, the big dog Jay Horn. All right, I appreciate everybody joining the broadcast. Don't forget to visit www.outofbounds.com for more information on how you can have advertising during our show and web advertising and have us broadcast your next live sporting event with me, the big dog, on the ones and twos with the play-by-play broadcasting. So, like I said, the NFL always has something going on. You never can get tired of talking about the NFL with all of the scandals and the rule changes and the draftees and much, much more after that. So the NFL has put in a new helmet rule. Now, I don't know how many times they're going to change the rule. I don't know if you're going to be able to have to move your head to the side or your neck to the side before you can make a tackle from now on. But the NFL has upgraded the targeting rule, and they're going to put it into instant replay just to see if they're going to eject players. Now, what I don't understand about all of the rule changes is why are we starting to eject players? When you start to play football at a certain age, you understand how ruthless the game is. You understand the injury that comes along with the game. You also understand how to play the game at a certain level, but sometimes you get outside of that parameter because of the violence of the game. But you should not be punished with an ejection and 15-yard penalty. So how many times are they going to change the rule? They can't make it any better. I don't know. I think football is football. If you're going to play it, deal with it. If you're trying to play it and be nice and not be touched, then football is not the game for you. You should play soccer. Next topic. Agentless draftees. So there's a trend that's going on with young men and families that are understanding how the business works. And they're starting to eliminate certain things that are hindering families and players from becoming financially free in so many ways. I'm just going to tell you how it is. Basically stealing money for setting up meetings. Now, I'm not against the agents. They have to do their job, okay? But what people are starting to say is we're starting to have our own personal relationships with these organizations and coaches and entities that are providing us with employment for our athleticism. And so we don't need anybody to negotiate for us because we have our own relationship building skills in the new millennium. And so you have young men like P.J. Washington and Wenyen Gabriel, two very exceptional players from the University of Kentucky who are thinking about not getting an agent, breaking the mold, doing it different. So what do you think? What do you think? Do you think agents are, outdated? You think that in this new world of technology, we can go ahead and make our own deals, talk to our own people? People are more accessible in this day and age. Yeah. I think if it's going to put money in your pocket, do it. If it's going to put money in your pocket, do it. Because when my son gets ready to go to the NBA after his playing career, if that's what he wants to decide to do, then we'll see what it looks like at that time. And if we need an agent, we'll get one. If we don't, then we'll be like these gentlemen. Okay? You can have an agent, you don't have to have an agent. Nobody really cares. You're on the Out of Bounds Sports Show with the big dog. I care. Let's talk about it in a minute. Welcome to the Boardroom Whiskey and Cigar Lounge. Conveniently located at 1708 8th Avenue, Fort Worth, Texas, 76110. They provide an upscale atmosphere for the grown and distinguished. Mention the Out of Bounds Sports Show for a cigar and drink specials. Contact the Boardroom Whiskey and Cigar Lounge at 817-945-2975. Welcome, everybody. This is the Big Dog on the Out of Bounds Sports Show. We're excited to bring you sports news and live broadcasting to your sporting event or your home with an exclusive interview with the Out of Bounds Sports team and me, the Big Dog. Tune in to the show Monday, Wednesday, Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll see you then. Don't run out of time. Get out of bounds.
Thank you for watching Out of Bounds Sports.
All right, everybody, we back on the Out of Bounds Sports Show. Make sure you visit www.outofboundswithazsports.com for more information on our next upcoming events, on how you can advertise during our show, and how we can offer you a broadcasting service to broadcast your next sporting event live on the Out of Bounds Sports Network. On YouTube, you can go there, you can view our work, you can view exclusive videos, exclusive interviews, one-on-one interviews, everything having to deal with sports. We want to cover your event, so make sure you contact us. You can also email us at outofbounds@gmail.com. So the NBA playoffs are in the building, okay? We're here, the NBA playoffs. They are nothing short of spectacular, just a lot of things that's going on in the playoffs that we wouldn't expect, okay? Tonight's games, they're going to be live and in color. I'm excited about them. I've watched the Houston Rockets do exactly what they're supposed to do in these playoffs. Man, James Harden, what can you say? He just gets buckets. He really just gets buckets. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on with the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think that, I hope that they bounce back and do what they're supposed to do after getting almost dubbed in the first game by the Indiana Pacers. But at this point, LeBron James ain't going to have to turn it up. And they're at halftime. They're up 12 at halftime, 58-46. And, the other game that they're having on tonight just started, Utah and OKC. OKC beat up on Utah the first game, but Utah is winning 9-5 in the first quarter with 8:54 left. The NBA playoffs has some surprises too. Who would have known the New Orleans Pelicans would go down to Portland and beat them 2 times. Beat them twice up in Portland. Portland is and has been since the 90s a disappointment almost every year. Starting with Greg Oden, and then LaMarcus Aldridge leaving, and now not putting pieces around the young man at the point guard over there. I don't know what to say. I hope that Portland gets it together, but if they don't, they're going to lose a very good young man, because as soon as his free agency comes up, he's out the door. You don't even have to worry about it. He's going to be gone like Al Capone. And so our last topic of the day is fan interference. Now, I read the story about the Tampa Bay fan. at the Rangers game, interfering with a should have been a home run by Renato Nunez, but it ended up being a ground rule double. And if you don't know about baseball, you're going to learn about it here on the Out of Bounds Sports Show. We try to educate you about sports at the same time that we give it to you raw and uncut from the big dog's perspective. So a ground rule double is when a hitter almost hits a home run, meaning he hits it off the back wall or it's high enough to bounce off the wall may be high, or there's an interference with the ball from after it's being hit from it not going into the home run field. You can only run 2 bases. That's why they call it a ground rule double. The umpire or the rules of the game allows you, because you did not hit a home run, okay, to get 2 bases. Some type of interference has to happen, and you awarded 2 bases. So that's why they call it a ground rule double. The fan was escorted out after interfering with the home run, but the biggest part about it is the Rangers lost. If that home run would have went over the fence as it was supposed to, or into the crowd as it was supposed to, even after looking at the replay, it was interfered by the fan, but can't do anything about the rules. Okay, the Rangers would have went up 2-0 and possibly won that game. So that's why this story was so significant. I really just, I was like, oh well, you do what you do. So that's it for us today. We're going to do it again tomorrow. Make sure you visit us on the Out of Bounds Sports Network on YouTube. Subscribe and like and listen and learn and holler at the dog. Leave your comment. Tell me what we can do better. We always love to hear from our fans and viewers all the time. Make sure you visit our website, www.outofboundswithazsports.com, for more information on how you can advertise during our show. Or we do build highlight tapes for college recruiting, so you can hit us up for that also. And for stories and updates written by one of our executive writers, and also me, Demenci Dino Wright. And also the upcoming events and the sponsors page is there also. We will be having Out of Bounds Sports paraphernalia here in the near future, so be looking out for that. So we'll see you again tomorrow. All right? Don't run out of time. Get out of bounds. Thank you for watching the Out of Bounds Sports Show. This broadcast is brought to you by The Boardroom, JCK Fitness, Street Creds, JZ.Fitness, Making the World Famous for Life, and BWZ Sports. Visit OutofBoundsSports.com for more information on how you can be on the show.